Hello, Fawad and Manohar. Thanks for joining the very basic SQL training. So in this session, we will be covering covering a very basic contents of SQL. So our assumption is we are training to those people who are not aware about SQL, and this is a highly very initial and very basic training of SQL. So if you have any concern or any reservation, or kindly let me know. But it's okay. Or what are your expectations? So kindly unmute yourself and then share your expectations. So what you expect from this training?
Okay, so my expectations are after attending this training, I would like to have like I can I should be able to query um, how to get data, how to pull data from the SQL. Like in our case, what happened is that we are working in AX and we have a couple of tables. So sometimes what happened we need to get data from multiple tables and put them all together in one worksheet, you can say. So it's really very hard for us like to do that to pull the data manually from the AX tables, or you can say the SQL tables, like the SQL tables. So my expectation is that uh, I should be able to join multiple tables and how I can pull different data from all those tables and put them all together in a spreadsheet so that I can have analysis or something like that. I should be able to do that. That's my expectation.
Okay. Do you have any prior experience of working with SQL?
Uh, uh, I know a little bit about like Slack query. Uh, I did once, like in the past 2 or 3 months. Uh, I uh, I worked here on site with a guy on my previous assignment. He's also a SQL person. So he introduced me like a couple of queries like the Slack joins, the simple join one. Yeah, but I will not say um, I got expertise in the joint, but yeah, a little bit I can do the Slack or something and or kind of things. I know like a very basic thing about the thing.
Okay, great, great. So I'm talking with Manohar.
Yeah. So from expectation setup, I would say the same. Like I would like to query the databases, join multiple table to see, to fetch the result. Uh, Regarding my knowledge, I do have. I used to do, you know, basic SQL selects before on Oracle. Like it's been a while, but yeah, I know how to select a query, how to put the joins. So yeah, but it's been a while, so it's good to have a refresher. I would say. Did you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Cool.
great. So that's great. So as you seen the contents of these three sessions, so in the first two sessions we will be covering very basic stuff of SQL, but we will be joining the tables and we will be able to understand the basic syntax. And one more thing, I will share the links of one or two basic SQL training. So I appreciate if you invest 3-4 hours in completing that training as well. And by this, let me start. So the first thing is in our agenda is to do the select statement. So this SQL basically is a structured query language. So query is just a question. So if you need to put some question to the database, so how you structure that? So it's a basically the language developed for the business users, but later on it's took by IT guys as well. But I seen a lot of business people who have developed excellent SQL skills. So let's start. If you want to add anything in these sessions, I appreciate if you just let me know, send me an email by asking to put more contents in these trainings. So let's start the basic stuff, and then we will build on top of all these things. So the first thing is select. Select is, let's do it. I created one database for this training, and just to make the stuff interesting, so I took the iTunes database. So in this iTunes database, let's see the diagram. So I will be having a lot of, I will share the SQL for iTunes database. So when you run that script, so this entire database will be created on your training environment. So in this, I created the diagram. So we see tracks, artists, albums, playlist, invoices, media type. So we have certain tables. So these tables are related with each other. And we call this the relational database. The reason being, if we try to see this at a very high level, so relational means here tables are related with each other on the basis of certain field. So when we go to the second session, so we will see how we can join tables, how we can do the query on the combined table. So that's the second session agenda. So this is something which I created. So I have a lot of tables here. So let's see the employee table here. So in this employee table, let's click here. Let's try to see the columns. So here I have lot of columns. So in employee I see last name, first name, title, birth date, state, country, and some other fields as well. So I want to see like there are how many rows and what type of data this table contains. So there are a lot of ways. So the very simple way is right click. So if you click on this table, click on right click, and then you see like select top 1000 rows. If we do this, so we see the query automatically written by the management studio. So this is the query. So and you see the table is below there. So this is the query. So there are only 8 rows in this table. Now if you want to see just 4 rows, you just change it a little bit. We will learn this in detail, so we will be able to see 4 rows. So if you want to make some changes, you can, it's listing all the fields which are in this table. So if you don't want to see these fields, let's delete it, and then you run it again. So you see a very nice small baby table with the desired or required fields. So that's something you can start with without writing anything. You just right click and then have the select query. So that's one something. Another thing is you can script this like here as well. So you script table as select to, you can do the insert, you can do other stuff as well, but our main focus is to select, to just fetch the data from the tables which are in certain database. Okay, so let's forget this. Now we want to write everything from scratch. So this select, this is the keyword. So if you notice its color is different. So let's see it's different color. When I put it becomes select. So it's a keyword. So select. So if you want to see all the columns of the employee table, so then you put star. So select star from where you want to select. So you just write the table name, employee, and that's it. Now you see, like here, the database is master, so you have to switch to the iTunes database. So this is one change you need to make. Otherwise, if you change some other, you see its color is it's a invalid object. So not able to find this employee in which database, which table. So you need to choose the right database. So it's gone. So you click here. So you have all the columns and all the rows from this database. So this is something very quick. Now let's try to learn something more. So you don't want to see all the columns. So initially, whenever we're doing the query on the database, so select star is the initial query. So you able to see all the columns at one place. But later on, when you see all the columns and with the data, so then you will be in a better position to select the column. So which columns make some sense to you? So which are interested columns. So I'm saying I want to select last name, first name from employee. So if I execute here, so I just able to see the first two columns and all the rows from the employee table. So that's something you can do. Another thing is which we can do like last name. So if you see like this last name is the title like here of this column. So this is last name. So this is the first name. You want to make this name something interesting. So you can write this last name as, you say last name, and you say this first name as first name. So just execute it. So now you see the title of the columns is being changed. So this as is optional. If you don't want to write this, you want to avoid some typing, so you can omit this. So if you remove this, again we will be having the same results. So this is something you do regarding the select statement. So in select statement, if you use select star, you will be having all the columns. If you want to see some particular columns in particular order, so you can do that. So if I want to see the first name first, so Control X, Control V, let me put the comma here, remove the first comma, and then execute. So let's see what's wrong here. Select first name. Now I put the comma at the wrong place. Execute. So you see. So in the database, columns may be in different order, but when you do the query, you can put the columns in different order. So this is important to understand. The reason being, sometimes you need to pull this data to Excel, and you want to see the columns in different order in the Excel sheet. So you can do that using the select statement. Now I appreciate if for what you have the control, you have the control of this system. You can use your keyboard, mouse, and then I appreciate if you do one select statement for me for the table city. Please go on.
Okay. Fine.
For what you have control to my system,
I think I don't have right now. I'm trying to click on.
let me make you. You have control to keyboard and mouse.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's you who is changing the mouse. I am not.
Okay, yeah, I got it now. Okay,
Yeah. So do it now.
all right.
Select all the columns from table. Which table? From customer table.
Employee.
From customer table.
Okay, all right. Let me. I'm typing in, but it's I'm typing in, but I think it's not. Uh, for some reason, I don't have control on SQL. Maybe. Weird. I don't know why.
I
Um,
think it's not. This keyboard is not working. I guess probably
Yeah,
the
I think.
mouse control is there.
Manova, can you try?
Yes. Let me try. Uh, can you make? Can you give me the control, please?
Yeah, you have.
It says for what? Uh, can you see? Now I have it. No, I've been trying typing it, but I can move the mouse. I guess. Can you see mouse moving?
Yeah.
But it's not. So the QD would be select
Okay.
space
Okay.
select
I will be right.
space from
I will be writing for you, Manova. So just let me know. Select.
yeah select
Yes.
space static space from space customers and then execute button on the top.
Okay. Yeah. Now I need to see just the city and state. So how I can do that?
So and just remove this direct and put city comma state and execute.
Okay. What else we can do with the select statement?
You can alias the column name, I guess,
Yeah.
and
So
you can
we can
filter just space
city.
in double quotation.
There is no need.
Double quote.
So you need
Yeah.
double quotes when you have like two
Space
word
in it.
phrase. Two words. Yeah. When you have a space.
Right.
That's working.
Okay.
Right. What else
Right.
we want to do with select? And that's it.
Probably you don't see the null states.
That's the later part in our.
Oh, just a select.
Yeah, this simple select. So
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah.
so in select you can use the static, so giving you all the columns, all the rows of the database of the table, and then you can limit the number of columns. You can change the order of the column. So that's it, which you can do by using the simple select statement. Is that clear to both of you?
Right.
Okay, let me move on then. So the next thing is to select the distinct statement. So first we need to understand why we need this. So if you look at the state column, you see, like if I have just state, I'm executing. So you will see there are a lot of rows, but there is a repetition. So SP, SP, AB, CA, and then again you able to see CCA. So it's quite probable. If you pick certain rows, limited rows, if you pick all the columns, do you think like there will be repetition? Possibly no. But if you select certain fields, then there might be some repetition. So you don't want to see the repeated thing. So that's why we have the word distinct. So you just write this distinct and then state and then hit the execute button. So here you will be able to see prior we have different number of rows. Now we have distinct 26 rows. So there is no repetition here. Is this clear to everybody?
Yep.
Just yeah, let me know any other select statement using distinct. So just let me write. So just what I should write. What you want, like maybe in country. You see there is lot of repetition. Brazil, Germany, USA, right? I just want to see the distinct countries of my employees.
So, yes, then probably you need to write, you need to do query like select
Yes.
distinct, and then the column name country, and then from the table customer.
Okay. Now I have two queries, but I want to execute the other one. So you have to select it and then execute. So you will see that all the distinct countries. Now if you don't select and just execute, so then you will be having the result of both the queries. So sometime you need to see the result of multiple queries. So you write all the multiple queries and then hit the execute button. So all the output from each query will be displayed to you. So that's one thing. And let's try to understand one more thing. So if I do like right here distinct country and then I put state here as well. So what's the expected output? Could you kindly explain? What's expected? So if I say select the distinct state country from customer, what should be the expected output?
So first is it's going to distinct the state, and then we translate the country. It's going to distinct the values from the state column, and then based on that, whatever we have result for country, it's gonna distinct the values from country column.
Okay, that's right, that's right. But my understanding is, so when you say distinct and then later on you have a list of fields, so then you will be having all the distinct combinations of all the listed fields. So if I say select distinct state country, so there will be lot of combinations. So if I write here without a distinct, so let's try to see that first. Now here you see like there are combinations which are repeated like SP Brazil, CA USA, right? So when you put this distinct with lot of fields, so the unique combinations, distinct combinations of all the fields will be displayed to you. So let's try to run this. So here you see there will be no combination which is repeated. This is NV, this is not NY. This is NV USA, NY USA. Is that all right? So when you put
Yeah.
distinct and later on you put lot of fields, so then the 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 distinct combinations with all the fields will be shown to you. So that's the use of distinct. Do you people require more explanation of distinct or it's okay?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, good,
I'm
good, good,
fine. Yeah.
good, great, great. Okay, now let's a very interesting and important concept. Where? So you never want to see all the data. You have to put certain conditions. You want to filter the data based on certain conditions. So where comes in. So we hardly use a query where we are not using the where clause. So let's try to see here. So here I'm writing select the state and country from customer, but I want to see only the states which are in country USA. So it's very simple. So you just write where country equals to, here you need to put apostrophe USA and just run the query. Yeah, lovely. So here the output is not same as we having before because we put the condition here. So here I'm going to have all the combinations in which the country is USA. Now I have one question. Let me write here like this. So what the output do people expect in this case? Anybody?
It will null. It will return null, I think, because
Okay. Manover?
unless you have a USA with the small letters,
Okay. Let's see this.
otherwise it should not.
Let's see this customer table. Country. This is country. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
USA in small. So what's the output? Manover, what you say?
Yes.
I think
So I
SQL is
think
not
this should be, SQL is not. Oh yeah, you're right. SQL is not case sensitive.
Yeah,
one of
lovely, lovely. So by running USA, you're getting the same output. So that's something we
Okay.
need to keep in our mind. So it's not case sensitive. So I can write here as well. So having the same output. So this is something we
Right.
learned, like SQL is not case sensitive. So that doesn't matter. So we learn.
one.
Yes, please.
Okay, I have just one question over here. Will will do a query like the last one, the third one? We put USA with the inverted commas. What if I entered USA without the inverted commas? And why we need to do that?
Yeah. So if we try to use this, because it's a character, right? So it will
Okay.
be showing invalid column. So if I run it, so it will not execute invalid column name USA. So it's considering something different. So if you have some number, so I will do that. So whenever the output is a character type, so you have to use this.
Okay.
Then it will work. Let me do one more query for you. So if you do like a customer ID, let's do on this customer ID equals to, let's say, 1. Will it work? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will work. Let's write everything. Yeah, it's working. So what about this? Will it work?
I think no.
It should, I think.
It's again working. It's interesting, right?
All right.
Yeah, so it's again working. So but it's very difficult if you give if I give you like my name or some character, you can't convert that character to number. But one may be considered as it's easy. If you see just one and say it's a string, somebody very easily able to figure out it's not string, it's a number. You getting what I'm trying to say? You said one, but you're saying like one is a string. The other maybe anybody can figure out. You're not saying right. It's not string. It's just one. It's a number. So the same thing is being done by SQL. Is this clear?
Yep.
Yeah. So we will be using the where clause whenever we need to filter the records. So in a table we have two type of things. So if I run this query again, so this is your column. These are columns, and this one is your row, and another name is for the row is a record. So in a table you have certain rows and or records, and you have different columns. Another name for the column is field. So you have different fields and different rows. Okay, let's see the other stuff. Where I have put the contents.
Okay, just one more question on the same thing.
Yes, please.
We have in the where class, if we have numeric, we thought that we can if it's a numeric column, we don't need to put in the inverted commas, and if it's a character, we need to put in the correct inverted commas. But if we have values alphanumeric, like where we have combination of numeric and the character, do we need to put those values under the inverted commas, or will it be fine without the inverted commas?
Okay. If I say A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, can you consider this as a number?
No.
No. So you got the answer. So you have to put this in inverted commas.
Okay, got it.
But if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, then
So it sounds like a number to me. So yeah, I got the
yeah,
answer.
You
that's it.
can do both actually, yeah.
Yeah, you can consider it if you put in inverted apostrophes or commas, it's okay. If you ignore it, again, it's okay. So we learned this where clause. And then in certain situations, you need to combine the conditions as well. You don't have just one condition. You have like to combine different conditions with and or. So let's try to use this and or operators. So let me say I want this I want to see like city should be, let's say, which one? City is this, and I want and country equals to Brazil. So let's try to run this query. I'm not getting anything. But if I switch it to or, then try to see. I'm having certain records. So can anybody explain what was wrong with and why I am able to get the records when I converted or switched this and to or?
So when you put an and before, so it looks for the condition to be true, like, the city should be Edmonton and the country should be Brazil too, because Edmonton belongs to Canada and does not belongs to, Brazil, so the combination, the query is invalid, and that's why it did not bring any value. But when you put an or, basically what it does that it brings all the records where the city is Edmonton or wherever the country is Brazil. So that's why it brings all the records of Brazil and Canada, Edmonton.
What do you think now?
So it's gonna bring this one record, the last record, Mark Phillips.
So here and will work. So this city
Yeah.
is rightly in Canada. So if I execute this, so I will get the record. So using and or operator, it's easy. So and if you combining two conditions with and, So if both conditions are true, then the records will be returned. And if you write or, then in that situation, if any one of the condition is true, you will be getting the record. Am I able to explain it? It's okay, or you need more explanation and examples?
No, I'm fine. I got it.
Okay,
I'm fine too. Thanks.
great, great, thank you. So, okay, next, order by keyword. So this is something very important. So let me explain why it's important, and let's write state. So I'm just writing a query on the customer table. I'm just fetching one column state. So in most of the situation, you need to see whether a row is repeated in the table or not. The easier way is you do the query and then sort the output. So how we can do that? You just write order by state. That's it. You execute. So here you see all the output which is repeated. So you able to see like there are repeated rows. So that's help us to put the distinct word. So if I put this distinct and re-execute, so then in that situation you will see all the distinct records will be returned. So that's one thing. If you're not writing anything, you just write by state. So it's sorted by ascending order. So that's default. But you can write the keyword is ASC, ascending. So if I run the execute again, we execute the query again, I see the same records. And if you want to have these records in the reverse order, so the word is descending, DESC, execute. So you will see the records in descending order. Let me do one more thing. So I see state and country. Okay. Now let me do one thing. I'm going to do country, and I don't want to see this country here. Will this query work?
No idea.
Just any wild guess. So here I want to
I
see the
think
state, but I want to order the records by country, and I'm not outputting the country column.
it should not actually, I think.
This should not.
I think not.
Yeah. So two-third is it will work. So it will work. So let's execute it. It's saying no. Yeah. So it's doing the sorting. Is that right? So what we learned here, so in the order by clause, it's not required like that column should be in the output list. So you may be not returning the country field, but you can do the sorting because that column is in fact in the table. Is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
But if you put a distinct, it won't let you.
Yeah, that's true. Let's try this and see the error. Distinct. What's the error? Yeah. So if you put the distinct, then it's saying like order by should work only if you put this country in the output list.
Okay.
Yeah, then it gives you the output if you doing this thing. So it's not hard. If you committing any mistake, the system will guide you. So what you need to do. So that's not difficult. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is I want to, like, here I sorted this by country in, let's do in ascending. So this is with the country. Now I want to do another thing. State. Will it work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it will do? It will sort country by ascending and state by descending. Yeah. So that's something different now. So first it will sort the country, and then if you have repetition, like in Canada, you have many rows. So the first column is being sorted descending. Let me do it ascending. So you see it, so it's working. So the Canada, you see all the rows are being sorted in state as well in the ascending order. So in order by clause, you can put as many fields as you wish, and some fields may be sorted ascending, some fields may be sorted descending. Is that clear? Order by clause.
Yes.
This is very important. Order by is very important. So whenever you browse the data, you explore the data, try to do this sorting thing as well. So it gives you the good idea about the data. This is something. No, this is the top class. So sometimes you just want to see certain records, not all the records. Let's assume even if in a database you have 1 million records, you don't want to output all. You're just doing the initial basic exploration. So you can write top, let's say 10, everything from customer. So it will give you just simple 10 records from the database. You can switch it. If you just want to see just one top record, so you can do this. Okay. You can also do one more thing. Let's do it with this. Okay. So here you see, you sorted the entire table and you output it just 10 records. So if you switch it to descending, so it will be sorting and then giving you the bottom 10 records. So let's do it. And you see we have the bottom 10 records. So if you want to see this top, doesn't mean like you have just the, if you say without ordering, it gives you just random, maybe from the table you just output the first 10 records. Those may not be sorted. But when you want to see, like, in a sorted way, the top 10 records or the bottom one, you can do this. So especially if you have some like revenue or some profit or something, and you want to see those records which are like sales value is the top 10 sales value records, so you do the sorting. If you want to see the lowest 10 sales records, then you do the sorting by descending, and then you use this. Is this clear?
Yep.
Okay.
Sir.
So let's move to the like operator. Let's do it. Okay. So I did a query on this. Now I want, like here you see in the title you see some sport thing, you see the manager, you see the staff. So I want to see the all the records in which you see some manager type thing. So I will be writing here, select everything from employee, where title, like. So because it title it's a string, so you have to put this. You need to write this wildcard. So this is the percentage, and then you write manager, and after manager you don't mind if there is anything coming later. So I will explain this in detail. So I see all the records in which you see the word manager in the title. If you want to see like the support staff, let me do this. So I see the support staff. Let's see everything. Okay. So if you want to see all the records starting with S, how you do that?
S star
Yeah. S star
1%.
percentage. So let's run it. So we got. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the name. I want to see all the records in which first letter could be anything, second letter should be D, and later on you have anything. Is this clear?
Okay.
So what I'm trying to figure out, I want to have this is not title. I look for
Last name.
last name. So I want to find those records in which the last name is first letter could be anything, the second letter should be D, and afterwards I don't mind if anything comes. So what I have written, so this is the underscore and then D and then percentage. So let's try to execute it. I got these two records. So there are two. So whenever you need to use the like a keyword, so you're going to use the wildcard. So wildcards are two types. One is percentage, the other one is underscore. I try to explain both. If you have any question or if you want me to write more queries on these two, I will do that. Or it's okay.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. So we learned the like operator, and we learned the wildcards as well. Okay. Let's try to understand the in operator. Okay. Where country. I'm sorry. So what do you expect?
Customer record from all the customer where the country is Brazil or Canada.
Okay. So we got those records. Now, this list of conditions may be very long because there are multiple countries. So you want to have all the customers, let's assume, from 10 countries. So you can proceed in this way. But there is another shortcut. So you just write where country in, and you put all these countries in a list separated by a comma. Do you think like we get the same result?
Yes.
Let's execute it. So we got the same result. So in operator, like so whenever you have a lot of conditions in the where clause, so rather than writing country equals to Brazil or country equals to Canada or country equals to USA or maybe some other, it might be long list. So you can avoid this by this shortcut. So we have the in operator. So I explained it. So this is the in operator. So let's try to understand the between operator. Okay. So here, let's execute it. So here I have a customer ID. I don't want to see all the customers. So I'm just trying to put one condition where customer ID between 6 and 15. Let's try to execute it. Yeah, excellent. So that's the use of between. So you if you have some number range, you can also do with the string as well. So you put one string and another string, you can do it. Let's try to do it. But mostly we do this like if you have a sale, you say like the sales between one amount and another amount. So the first one is smaller, the other should be more. So let's do it with the between you see what I did, but hardly we do such type of things. Normally we use this between for the numeric fields, but you can do this on the character fields as well. So all the name, this is the lexicographic order. So all the names which are more than this and less than this, you will be outputted. So you got these things. So I explained this. We already talked about the aliases, and I talked about the table relationship, and we continue with the primary key and the entity relationship models. I explained you like you have a lot of entries, lot of tables. So one table is your entity, and one entity is related with another entity based on certain key. So we call one key is primary, the other one is foreign key. We try to understand this concept more when we going to join tables in the next session. So I'm open if you have any question or any doubts on whatever I covered today. So you are welcome to ask.
No, I think thank you very much for the session. It is, you know, as you mentioned, this is a basic one, and good to have a refresher. I think the next session will be important where we will be joining multiple tables and using the join conditions. So I believe, yeah, that would be it. I think so.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.